We're going to go wide open throttle with Daryl Martin. Now, Daryl, good to see you again. You made the stop last year with C-Tech Manufacturing. You guys are, of course, very well known in the industry, making not just motor carts, but also you still specialize in the cabinets in trailer manufacturing.
Yep. So it's good to be back again. Thank you for having me. Yes, we're still specializing in the trailer cabinets for mobile applications, stuff like that. In motorsports very heavily, as well as specialty vehicles and a lot of other markets as well. One of the things that we're doing is, we're doing the pit carts, we're doing the trailers, we're doing trailer accessories as well. We've got some blackline accessories that we offer. And then we're also doing tool drawer units, which a lot of people in this industry don't know about. But you can do a tool drawer in the bottom of your toter home or in like side compartments of any other kind of vehicle that's got openings.
So this show has to just work perfect for your demographics. I mean, you have drag racing, you have open wheel, there's dirt, there's just so many different types. If it's performance, and for the most part, a lot of them race on weekends, so they're going to load up their trailer with their equipment. And when I walk by your booth, it always reminds me of having that small trailer. You want to house it with some boxes, with some cabinets. You want to store all your equipment because you take care of it. And is there any particular venue bigger than the other? So I know we all know your brand in drag racing, but I mean, you got to have a lot of business from a lot of the open wheel.
Oh yeah, I mean, we when we come to the show, we bring product that pretty much services every industry or every series that we're supporting. So we've got small carts to sportsman racers doing sprint car races and stuff like that, dirt track. Your run-of-the-mill weekend warrior type stuff. And then we've got carts all the way up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series with our dual deck cart, which is featured at the front of our booth. It's our
you can live in.
Our big shiny live-in trophy. Yeah, it's a great platform. As far as is there one bigger than the other, they all have their own needs and wants, and sometimes you're going to sell a small mini cart to a team and then an overhead cabinet in a trailer, which that sale is just as important to us as a dual deck ultra cart with a 53-foot hauler.
And these are lightweight cabinets, benches, workbenches.
Yep,
all aluminum. Bolt right into a trailer.
Yep, all aluminum construction. On that smaller spectrum, those weekend warrior type racers, what we've noticed the trend in is they don't want to have that in and out of the trailer so much. So what they'll do is they'll actually go with more of a cart platform. They can have their tools locked down in space in their trailer, but then when it comes to race weekend, they pull it out, they put it in front of their car. It's a lot easier for working on it.
Yeah, and that's interesting. You don't see a lot of that in the sportsman categories in drag racing. You buy a ticket, you get full access to the pits, but you just don't see it. However, that's the thing to have if you're racing anything in dirt, late model, modified, the midgets, the sprint cars. I mean, that's still such a common item for them to be able to house their tools and a lot of their parts in that roller and just roll it out of the trailer. Any particular reason that drag racers haven't adapted that?
Well, actually our drag race program with Jim Greenheck, we utilize that tactic because we've got, the Taj Mahal of haulers because we manufacture the cabinets. We're going to have that. But when it comes down to the tools that we actually use for in-between runs for tear down and rebuild and stuff like that, we house it in what we call a best damn toolbox. Everything's there in a 5-drawer cart that's easily rolled in and out, and that's our go-to tools. When we've got major catastrophic breakdowns and stuff, then the rest of that's housed inside of our trailer. I'm actually kind of surprised that it hasn't gone down that way in drag racing at all.
I always am, especially every time I see one of your roller boxes and how impressive they look. And to your point, just going in and out of the trailer, I mean, why would you do that when you can just roll it out? And it's surprising to me that we don't see more of them in our sport.
Right. Yeah, it is to me too, but it's also, this is the way that they've been doing it. It's what they're comfortable with, and sometimes efficiencies aren't gained with bringing your tools to you. Efficiencies are gained with what works best for the team. Yeah. So we try to provide a product for whatever's going to work best for that team so they can be the most efficient, organized.
So Daryl, you and I talked a little bit before we got started here. Now you guys are doing some other interesting things that are really outside of the realm that you've been doing. I know you have worked with several racing teams, and of course you cater to any racer, but what are some of the new directions that the company is dabbling with?
So one thing that we're doing for 2020 is we're really focusing on the educational side of racing and in general, and getting that younger crowd involved. The universities have a program called SAE, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers are familiar with it. So what we're doing is we're teaming up with some of our local colleges and universities, and we're helping them out with some track support carts, just to give them a more organized setting at the racetrack. It presents better for sponsors because they're heavily relying on sponsors to help them with these programs in their cars. And then besides that, you know, it gives a really nice light on what organization can do no matter what field they go into when they graduate.
Yeah, and, you know, it's interesting that you say that, and you walk around the pits at a drag race, you see you see the highest level operations, you know, John Force, Don Schumacher, Coletta's, state-of-the-art trailers. And, you know, one of the things, my son, my 13-year-old, is racing karts now, and I think what a lot of racers don't understand, they really underestimate, is presentation. You know, when you talk about sponsorship and the value that you can provide to them, they want to have a good impression. And that first impression, you get one shot at it, and when if you can get them as far as to the race, and that's really where it starts, they want to see a professional operation. And that really applies to any level, whether it's the top tier of NASCAR, IndyCar, or the sport of NHRA drag racing, and to the lowest levels. That presentation is so important, and that's what you guys do.
Well, exactly that. I mean, when you come in with a CTEC product, you're giving the best presentation that you can for your sponsors. And let's say you're new, upcoming, you don't have a lot of cash flow, you're spending everything on your car. You know, that presentation of offering that, telling your sponsor, saying, hey, you know, this is what we're going to do with your sponsorship monies. We're going to invest it in our trackside presentation. We're going to give a professional look. Like, using that as a bartering chip as getting some sponsors has worked really beneficial for a lot of our customers as well.
Yeah, and you and I both know when you get into racing, one of the things, the car has to be prepared, but once you get it beyond, you've gotten to the race, you've run it down the track, now what? Now you got to make another run. So being organized and just having that pit area, it's no different than a kitchen. You know, maybe the women viewers can appreciate this. You have your forks and your knives. You have everything in a very specific place, and I think that's really one of the demands that racing places on any team. Not so much drag racing. Drag racing, when you're in between rounds, that turnaround has to be efficient, and the second that you have a problem, you have to call on a broken part or something, you're going to need access to that. So that's one of the things that your company really focuses on. No longer just cabinets, storage in the trailer. It's kind of worked its way outside of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's more than just the presentation. It's more than just having pretty cabinets in your trailer. There's a reason and to our madness of being organized, and it helps build champions. I mean, organized, efficient racers are going to be the best version of themselves on the racetrack. It doesn't matter what kind of racing you're doing.
And we're not racing it down the track, but I know that weight, when you're talking a trailer, you can easily overload it, and depending on what kind of vehicle you have towing it, unless you have a F-350, which not everybody has, you want to keep it lightweight. But Daryl, thanks again for stopping by. Always intrigued and interested in some of the products that you guys are making. Anything new for this year?
One big thing that we've got going on new is that our owner actually purchased Rock Falls Raceway, and we've been doing a huge amount of improvements there. So if you love drag racing, you love that sportsman style, just keep an eye on that track. I think it's going to be really something to look at.
Mid-Wisconsin?
Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Okay, well, pretty close. Well, Daryl Martin, CTEC Manufacturing, thank you again. Always appreciate the partnership with the sport and really everything you guys do, mostly for the racer. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.